Growing up, I was always told one thing a lot. You will manage. Learning how to dance, you will manage. Enrolled in a singing course, you will manage. Annual exams coming up, but you're participating in your neighborhood Durga Puja celebration. You will manage, Mopia. You always do. So that is what I learned. That is what I should have learned. Because that's what people do, right? They manage. But not me. I only pretended to manage. It was like jumping off of an airplane with a pretend parachute. The problem in that is, you will inevitably fall. As did I. I fell and fell further, straight into the ocean called high school. So of course, that's when I really learned how to pretend to manage things well and please everyone around me. That's when I learned the art of people pleasing. Merriam-Webster defines a people pleaser as, and I quote, a person who has an emotional need to please other people, often at the expense of his or her own desires. I repeat, often at the expense of his or her own desires. Well, I would simply define it as the subtle art of bothering way too much about people who bother way too less. But as woke as I was, it takes a saint to practice what they preach, and I am nowhere near to being one. So that's when I shut down the internet, closed my door, and sunk into my bed and stayed there for the rest of my life until today. Of course not. What I really did though was start taking on way more responsibilities than I could possibly manage. Picture this. It's only the second lesson at school, and your music teacher comes in and whisks you away for practicing for an upcoming event. Only half an hour later, you're called to the headmistress's office to practice for a studio talk. And after having managed both of these things, almost, you get an earful from your English teacher for missing her double lesson. That is pretty much what life had become for me. You see, I'm coming from a setting where tens and thousands of people my age multitask every day while perfectly balancing their lives. I'm coming from a setting where ambitions must turn into achievements. Otherwise, there's no place for them at home. I am coming from trophy-lined walls and certificate-filled folders. I'm coming from overflowing bookcases and an in-house library. My home is my nest, and it only ever taught me to fly. But I flew with a pretend parachute, didn't I? I flew a faulty flight. Right around the time I was in 10th standard, I was literally all over the place and in all spheres of my life. At school, I was participating in assemblies and functions left, right, and center. In my locality, I was singing and reciting at every puja celebration. I was volunteering, I was doing internships with non-profit organizations, and at home I was busy measuring up to the standards of the trophy-lined walls. I was busy contemplating the one question on so many of our minds. When will I be enough? All these extra responsibilities were starting to get to me now. My friends and family were excelling in their lives, and here I was, barely managing to keep all pieces of myself strung together on the same thread. I was barely flying, almost touching the ground, and flying so low that I could touch a mole if I wanted to. I was working through the day to catch up on studies and slaving through the night to catch up on life, wondering if I was good enough. Funnily, the answer to that question always remained elusive. Then, in 11th standard, my worldly wise adolescent brain said, Mopia, take a break. And I did. I decided to take a break from everything. It came as quite a shock to almost everyone involved. My teachers were surprised to see that I wasn't very keen on participating in that many activities. My neighbors took it up a notch. They thought I was sick when I refused to participate for that year's puja celebration. And when they asked me why, I did tell them, I said, it's getting too much. And here's the real funny part. Because believe me when I tell you that the only response I got from almost everyone was this: you can't manage. You see, the surprise in their voice was genuinely surprising to me because I got the message for one final time, loud and clear. You will manage. And that is how my year of sabbatical took an introspective turn. I decided to change their question of "you can't manage" into my answer of "I can and I will." That's right about the time it started. My road to recovery. I presume you're surprised when I say road to recovery because of the context it is generally used in, but it is a road to recovery from a deadly addiction, the addiction of people pleasing. So I spoke to my friends and I spoke to my cousins and my relatives and almost anybody else that could be of any help, and nobody was. So then I fixed an appointment with the busy me, and I spoke to myself. I watched videos online and I took the internet's advice, but selectively. You know, someone important once told me that I should get all the advice I can, but I should filter what to take in. And that's exactly what I did with the internet's advice. I took those quizzes that we have all taken at some point, I'm sure, and they told me that I need to stop focusing on other people to validate me. And they also told me that I'll be going to France in 2027 based on my dessert preferences, but more on that some other time. Seriously though, I needed to stop pleasing everyone around but me. Spoiler alert, it's called setting boundaries. And it's difficult. Trust me. Take it from someone who has tried and is still trying. It's difficult to say no when all your life you have been saying yes. It's difficult to set aside the fries and focus on the burger when you have been taught to gulp them both down. But we have to start somewhere, right? And I did. I started setting boundaries. And I started saying no. And I started giving people the real reason why, without feeling ashamed or guilty about it. And guess what? I did not fly with a pretend parachute this time. I took on fewer responsibilities and I learned to manage them. No pretenses, no unnecessarily pleasing people, just plain and real managing responsibilities. I did not fly with a pretend parachute. And in all real stories, I fell too, but I flew again. And guess what? This time, when I heard, "You'll manage," I said, "I will." Thank you.